Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Dr. Daniel Azim Pasheda and I have the great privilege to serve as your instructor and professor for this wonderful Native American Religious Traditions course. I congratulate you for taking this course. Most Americans know very little about Native American peoples, histories, and present-day lives, much less about their spiritual traditions and life ways. Taking a semester-long course on this cannot completely satisfy this need for our lives, but it is a wonderful start. I've worked hard to carefully construct this course, and I hope you find the readings, questions, and discussions enriching and fascinating. Native American religious traditions are important parts of this continent's and our worldwide society's rich cultural heritage. We can learn much from the different First Nation life ways we'll explore in this course. I do hope you'll be moved by the insight, genius, beauty, and sensitivities of these life ways. However, just as we should avoid stereotyping any one or any group as barbaric or backwards, so should we avoid stereotyping them as representing some sort of Garden of Eden age of innocence and intimacy with spiritual forces. Rather, I hope you will treat these religious traditions and their continuing evolutions as potential good friends. We can and should learn much from good friends we get to know, and perhaps become better people ourselves through this relationship. However, we will be sorely disappointed if we presume such a friendship or such a friend to be morally perfect. Rather, we must accept them for their strengths and faults, being aware that they are complex human beings, just as we are. Northern Arizona University courses, online or in person, are constructed to ideally take about 9 to 10 hours per week for average students. Some of you will need longer than this, others shorter. I've tried to keep the readings under 60 pages per week. If you're like me and you read pretty slowly and carefully, you should probably plan on allocating at least 5 hours per week to keep up with the readings, at least. I think you'll find the reading quite fascinating, and I encourage you to allocate the time and energy to really taste and chew on the various ideas, insights, and questions these readings offer you each week. Readings and online discussions are the primary portals to learning for this course. However, I will sometimes also have brief PowerPoint presentations where I'll augment the content instruction for the week. More often, I'll put up brief presentations at the end of the week to clarify just a few issues that seem to still be confusing based on what you have submitted online. You can organize your time for what works for you. Some of you will find doing everything all in one day works best for you. For others, allocating each day an hour or so of reading work will work better. I have made your submission to the discussion forum due every Saturday night except this first week, so that you have the previous Sunday plus full work week to complete readings and make informed and thoughtful submissions. Your discussion submissions cumulatively are the largest portion of the course grade. They're also a very straightforward way to get full credit and do well in this course, so you don't want to miss these. So with these, many of you have asked me questions trying to get clarifications on what you should actually do for those. Early in the week, I suggest you identify questions that you really want to focus on in your reading, that you find interesting and you really want to investigate with that. And then as you read, and you'll want to take notes and make notes of what page numbers really connect with which questions that you're most interested in. Identify at least 3 questions, and if you submit early in the week, you'll likely be able to get the questions you want. If you wait till the last minute, I ask you to choose questions that don't or haven't been given much attention yet. For example, only have maybe 2 people or less that have looked at it so far, and those are the questions that you'll want to focus on so that each question gets attention. So 3 different questions you'll be focusing upon. One question will be a longer answer where you'll be very much citing page numbers or parts of the videos you're looking at that help you answer that question. A full paragraph, a full detailed paragraph you'll want to write. Your other 2 contributions to 2 other discussion questions, in other words, a second and third question that you look at. Those can be somewhat briefer contributions or submissions to the discussion. You want to augment, challenge, and supplement things your peers, your colleagues have said on that question to make sure there's a complete, insightful answer about how we can address that question. You're welcome to debate with each other, of course respectfully and courteously, disagree with each other, but most often you're going to be helping to offer a most in-depth and panoramic view or understanding of the issues on hand. Let me know if you have any more questions about the discussion forum, and I will